What is your familiarity with, telemedicine platforms or protocols such as HL7, FHIR, EDIX12? Can you discuss like a specific instance where you had to implement these standards in a project?
Yeah. So basically, like the FHIR, EDI, and XWEL are all like healthcare related data. And then previously, when I was working for one of my clients called IQVIA, it's a healthcare firm as well, wherein they were dealing with a lot of similar healthcare data. It was basically using that data to like improve their sales. They used to sell a lot of medical equipments as well.
Okay.
So I have good experience like dealing with this kind of data. Basically, we were using that data to support real-time data processing on their websites to use that data to improve customer recommendations for IQVIA customers. So yeah, I have good experience like how to handle this data and what standards we need to implement to work with this data. So yeah, I am totally aware of those standards.
Okay. Good, good, good. So one thing that piqued my interest on your resume was, earlier I asked you if your name was Mohammed. I did notice that, Mohammed was specified on your resume as your name, you know, and that was one thing that kind of intrigued or was,
Mhm.
more like that stood out to me because I mean, obviously your name is Khalid, but it was talking about Mohammed's experience in writing. So, can you basically explain more about that?
Yeah, so generally, like I go with Khalid Ali as my first name and last name, and Muhammad is like a middle name where very frequently, or like I would say, I won't use much. Most of the time, everywhere on my ID and everywhere, Khalid is my first name and Ali is my last name.
And is Mohammed your actual name? Because
Um,
when I reached out to my manager, he actually
mhm.
called it out for me and as well. And I want to make sure that whatever information you have on here is actually your information. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that's correct. So, like, you can take my actual names at Khalid Ali and Muhammad as a middle name, and I don't use Muhammad on any like official documentation or anywhere because my ID also I just use Khalid Ali. So you can just keep Khalid as my first name and Ali as my last name.
Got you. So, how do you stay up to date with emerging trends and technologies in data engineering or, telemedicine and lab informatics?
Yeah, so with like medical data, it's really important to have the trainings refreshed every 6 months. So basically, when I was working with IQVIA, I used to have all those trainings like done every 6 months to 1 year. Everything used to be recycled and redone. So in that way, we used to be updated with all the policies and all the data handling techniques that are updated, or if there are any change on the policy side.
Got you. And can you describe a complex data engineering problem you encountered in the healthcare setting? And like what were the different steps that you took in order to resolve the issue?
Yeah, so I mean, on the data side, like since all throughout my career, I've been working on the data side. I have faced quite a few scenarios, complex scenarios, I would say, that have like intrigued me into like implementing multiple solutions, or like implementing some kind of like alternative approach. So I'll share details about one of the scenario wherein I was working with IQVIA, and then we were dealing with the JSON data over there, customer data, and the data that we were receiving from a different team. And as part of the business requirements, we have captured all the details, and we implemented the solution, and then we went live with that. And
Okay.
then on the next day, what we see is like the data is having like new columns, new fields in the data from next few days, and our process was failing in production. So like we had to reach out to them and check with them like because what has changed and why is the data is coming with multiple new fields, and they were like, I mean, they weren't sure that it would be a variable like changing schema, and every day the data might change. And then, since the process was live, we have to fix it on the go because this process was being used by like many downstream users, and it was like causing a lot of issue in the downstream, and this was being escalated to the very top levels. So in that way, like the solution has to be implemented really quickly, and then I was able to work a little extra, like for the 2 3 days that I had to do, and then I was able to get in a fix to accommodate all those additional fields and unknown additional fields that were coming on a day-to-day basis. So basically, the problem was not the additional fields. The problem was the unknown additional fields that we were getting on every day. So I put up a process in place that could capture those additional fields which are not known to the process, and it can update the schema, and then it can run the whole process every day. So in that way, we were able to overcome a big mess that has happened on that process, on that implementation.
Got you. And have you used DBT for data transformation, modeling, and documentation before?
Yes, I have used DBT with Synchrony as well as with IQVIA. So basically, we used it for the data transformation as well as for modeling of data.
Got you. And can you describe your experience in working in the healthcare technology or in the healthcare space, and particularly in building scalable data pipelines and solutions for telemedicine or lab operations?
Yeah. So basically, you mean related to DBT or just in healthcare?
Just in the healthcare space.
Yeah, so I mean, on the healthcare side, I have experience related to like analyzing the health record data. So basically, we used to have all the electronic health record data, and we used to do a lot of analytics on top of that. We used to build solutions for the patient's data.
Okay.
Like I said, for the medical equipment recommendations, we used to use that data for our analysis, and then we used to feed that data to a machine learning model that could recommend the equipments to the patients. And then I've used clinical trial data management as well
Okay.
for our analysis, and I used to, for quite amount of time, I did the data validations for that data. So basically, we used to do the data profiling and quality for the clinical trial data management, and for public health data as well. So basically, I used to run through each of the tables that were getting loaded, and I used to profile the data for each of the fields, and then validate the data for the quality if it's matching the standards, and then check the encryptions on that. And then there were like a lot of other checks that I used to do as part of my process. So we implemented this solution to make sure that the data quality standards are met, and we don't break like or we don't what is we don't break any standards or policies on the data management side.
Gotcha. And just for clarification, have you worked with snowflakes before?
Yes, I've worked with Snowflake in my previous projects.
Okay. And what about Airflow as well as Tableau?
Yes. Yes, I've worked on Airflow. Like a lot of the schedulings that we used to do on the projects were being done by Airflow.
Okay.
And I think like most of the companies are using Airflow right now. So like in past 2 or 3 projects that I worked, everywhere I've been using Airflow.
Gotcha.
And on the Tableau side, I have used it for like a very small amount of time, like around 3 to 6 months, I would say. It was one of the project wherein they wanted reporting to be done in Tableau.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to connect that to our data source and then create reports on that. But majorly, I've worked on Power BI.
Okay. Awesome. 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 And you know, we would like to ask this question because we always want to be transparent with every candidate that we're interviewing. Would you be requiring sponsorship now or later on in the future?
No, I won't require any kind of sponsorship.
Okay. Awesome. And are you like a green card holder or a U.S. citizen?
Yes, I'm a green card
Oh,
holder.
okay. Great. 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 So, what would you say is your salary expectation?
If it's a W2 position, full-time position, I would be expecting something between a range of 100 and like 40 to 170K.
Okay. So, just to be transparent, this role we are paying way below that. I will tell you exactly how much the pay is for this role, but
Mhm.
we are not paying up to that much. So I just want to make sure that you understand that the pay might not
Mhm.
be up to 140. As of right now, this role actually is going to be between 75 to 110K a year. Would that be something that you are willing to consider?
Yeah, I mean, I would want to know like if you would be providing me healthcare benefits, like health insurance and other benefits,
Yeah,
like yearly, like annual holidays and the health insurance, everything. If that is provided, then I think I can be more flexible on the package side.
absolutely. So we do provide, you know, healthcare, and including all these benefits, and as well as we do provide, holidays for, people that are full time with the company. So if you're working full time, obviously you're gonna receive those benefits. But
Mhm.
keep in mind, usually what we do is we bring in people on a contract basis at the start for like
Mhm.
a 3 month contract, and then depending on how you perform in that 3 months, then we move you to a full time. Like me, I started with a company part time,
Mhm.
and I started on contract as well. And then, obviously, I was able to deliver and walk my way up, and I got a full time position. And, obviously, I have the benefits, and I'm currently on W2 as well. So I just want you to keep that in mind.
Yep, sounds good. I think that's really good.
Okay. So, what is your availability like for the next couple of days?
I mean, I'm available like 3 to 5 p.m. Uh, the next day, next few days this week.
Okay. And would that be under CST?
EST, Eastern.
Oh, Eastern. Okay. Got you. Got you. Okay. So I will go ahead and try to look for something that will work with your availability. Do you have any openings at all, like in the morning or in the afternoon, from now all the way to Friday by any chance?
I think in the morning I am available on. I'm available on Thursday morning, like 9 to 10:30. Nine
Okay.
to ten, I would say 9 to 10 Eastern.
9 to 10 Eastern, correct?
Yeah, and then on Friday I'm available 9 to 11 Eastern.
Okay. All right. So I'll go ahead and try to schedule for those times that you have given. And do you have any questions for me?
I think I'm pretty much good with all the details that you have given regarding the role, and I think it's really matches to my skill set and the experience that I have. One question that I have is like, what are the next steps in the process? Like, and how soon do you think we can like close these steps? Like,
Yes.
upon
So the
yeah.
next steps will be two rounds of interviews with two different managers that are part of our team, and they will, kind of like question you on your skill, your background, and just make sure that, you know, excuse me, they have what they're looking for.
Mhm.
After that, then you'll be moved to an offer stage. Most likely, after the first interview with one of them, usually we have an understanding, or like, hey, this guy's good. We should hire him. So by that
Mhm.
time, we should have some kind of understanding if we want to hire you or not prior to you even
Mhm.
going to the last round of interviews. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Um, the interview process, we're trying to close out on this role as soon as possible. So that's why I was asking you for your availability so that I can go ahead and try to schedule the interviews for you in these times that you gave me. That way, we can kind of move a little bit quickly for you and try to get you through the process as quick as possible. And also to keep in mind, would you be able to provide proof that your name is Mohammed? Because when I reached out to my manager, he brought that up to me, like I mentioned, and he
Mhm.
was like, "Yeah, I'm skeptical about this, so I just want to make sure that I have proof from you that your name is actually Mohammed. That way, I can share it with them whenever
Mhm.
that time comes."
Yeah, sure, sure.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, if no other question, I think we should be good. We covered every base. If you don't have any question, I will go ahead and jump off, and I will go
Mhm.
ahead and set up that interview for you, and I'll send you an email once that is set up. And also, if you have any questions or if anything comes up, you can also reach out to me back to that same email address that I use. That's my personal work email address. You can just shoot me a quick email, and once I get it, I would reach out back to you.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, and you have a good one. Okay.
You as well. Thank you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.